On our beautiful and amazing, there are many interesting places created by the planet, both nature and man. Some of them are wildly popular around the world. Mostly only local people know about others. The latter include the Vinkeveen Lakes in the Netherlands that seem to cut into small parts thin strips of islands. Residents of the Netherlands from ancient times were in a complicated relationship with water. More in times of the Roman Empire, they began with enviable perseverance recapture the land by the sea. In this difficult struggle they have made significant strides. Perhaps now there are no such skilled in the world builders of dams and dams. Not surprisingly, a certain part Dutch sites so or otherwise related to water. For example, the Afsluitdijk Rescue Dam, which we have already talked about, or Vinkeveen Lakes located in provinces of Utrecht, which will be discussed today. If you look at the Vinkeveen Lakes on Google Maps, then maybe seem like someone cut the ground stripes and carefully put it on water. Often, the appearance of such bizarre places merit of Mother of Nature. But in this case, work before us human. For many years in the Netherlands, was highly valued peat used as fuel. For more than 100 years, from 1857 to 1975, as a major source its production in Utrecht considered a place called Vinkeven, which is located at about 20 kilometers south of Amsterdam. From March to June, lowland peat was mined there. It was cut into long stripes and always left special areas legakers, peat on them and dried. At the end of September, completely dried fuel was collected and in baskets were transported along the Netherlands cities. At the end of the 19th century, labor-intensive mining process succeeded facilitate with cutting machines peat. 4 worked on the Vinkeveen Lakes such. One of them can still be seen today in Vinkeven. All the strips of land that we see now on the water, it's just a reminder of the peat past. It was on them that peat was dried, which was mined around. In the 20th century, the world changed a lot and the place of the most popular fuel took oil. As a result, peat mining in Vinkeven ceased, and the remaining the depression was filled with water, but not peat alone. Under its layer was sand, which began to mine even before the Second World Wars for the construction of automobile highways. After defeating Nazi Germany and Allies, demand for it only increased. To lift sand from the bottom, used special earthworks. From this sand was even built National Highway 82. Considered the most important highway from north to the south of the country. In 1975, from sand mining had to refuse. The fact is that, because of she part of one of the islands failed into a huge hole. Fortunately, none of the people were injured. Since then, sand in Vinkeven has been left in rest. Such sand mining has led to that in some places depth the formed lake reaches 50 meters, which is a lot for man-made reservoir. On the Vinkeveen Lakes with sides of man-made Lake Markermer, which was once part of the former Zuiders, waves formed, contributing to rapid destruction legers. To protect against waves, the Netherlands built 12 sandy islands. Today they serve not only as dams, but also as popular among residents of Amsterdam and the province of Utrecht places of rest. For 4 of them, you can get on the road. The rest will have to get on the water. As for the legakers themselves, then with them everything is difficult. Probably all of them now are privately owned. It is known for sure that in the spring of 2017 several dozens of such islets of power put up for auction since they did not want to take on costs of its maintenance. The main problem is that leggers are still slowly collapsing. So that they do not disappear completely, you need invest in erosion control. Build on sold land strictly forbidden. You can only arrange picnics and mooring boats, but however, previously acquired private islets are dotted with houses. The truth is almost all buildings built in the last 40 years here are considered illegal, and this is one of the most controversial topics in the Netherlands, which has remained open for many years. It is possible that someday the situation will change, as officials also talk about. Truth when exactly it is worth waiting for serious change is extremely difficult to say. At first glance legakers may seem the perfect place for introverts. In fact, this is not quite true. As already mentioned above, Vinkeveen Lakes, a very popular place among amateurs, rest on the water, and everything is done to make it as comfortable as possible. In addition to directly lakes, the area includes heather wastelands and also areas in the peat meadows zone. A ring of 12 islands is located on northeast. For guests, equipped beaches, piers and playgrounds. On some islands also have points catering. They come to the Vinkeveen Lakes for this to ride boats or water skiing, diving or sailing sports, fishing, and just admire the local beauty. In the summer months, there are so many guests here because of island overcrowding sometimes occurs conflicts, and fast movement of boaters periodically leads to the occurrence of dangerous situations and harms nature. Privacy on Lagakar itself, of course it is possible, but for complete silence and 100% rest, especially during the season, better not to hope. Still, completely forget about the existence of other people, it is unlikely to work out here. Very cozy, friendly Vinkeveen small town fishermen. The population there is only about 8,400 people. But this is if we count together with the adjacent to it the village of Achterbos. But he boasts profitable location, and on weekends in it rush thousands of guests with the Netherlands capital. From him to Amsterdam only 20 minutes, to Utrecht 25 minutes. By the way, housing for tourists in the city is not that very expensive, with desire can be found quite accessible options. Let's say a small house for 6 guests, the night in which it will cost about $150. If you match these prices are for example with the Russian south, then this is perhaps even more interesting proposal. The truth about hot weather in the Netherlands, do not have to say, it is still absolutely different rest with others' values. Despite all, the Vinkeveenske Lake gives the impression of a wonderful place that is ideal for that, to enjoy proximity to nature and take a break from the city bustle. But not everything is so rosy according to local residents. Yes, there are natural beauty, pure water and unusual history, but there are also problems. Perhaps one of the most important for them, illegal buildings are islets. Over the years they are the real head pain for local authorities. However, be very worried about safety and personality of the Vinkeveen Lakes, there is no point. Perhaps these buildings and make them so unusual, and the Dutch sincerely love this place and try about to take care not to lose. That's all, share the video with your friends, write your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the video like. I'll see you soon.